Well, hello, everybody.
Howdy.
All right, episode 98 of Sports and Spaghetti, Nick, already.
Many episodes.
That's a lot of episodes. Thank you to everybody who listens and watches and votes on our TikToks and everything like that. It was so fun this past week to edit these all and see people react and tell me in class what they think, and it's just a good time. 98 episodes, it's a lot, and it got me thinking. First of all, happy birthday, Nick.
Thank you.
Nick, your birthday was 2 days ago.
Yes, sir. The big 25.
25, and if you can see what I have made for Nick's birthday, it's a cookie cake. There's a 25 on it. There's a picture going up right now of that. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating Anthony's birthday. Hopefully, he'll be back for that. I believe if all goes according to plan, he'll be back for that birthday episode just in time for us to cook something for his birthday, of course.
Yep.
So it got me thinking, Nick, how many episodes have we each done?
Yes.
And I was like, well, let's count. So I went back and I counted. I've been on all 98 episodes.
Yes.
Plus our episode 0, so technically 99 episodes.
Plus the pie debacle. So technically 100 episodes.
Right, we have recorded 101. There was also an episode on 4th of July, 2023 that did not air because we double dipped 1 week. We did 2, but it was going to be my birthday week, and on my birthday, the Yankees threw a no-hitter. Or it was the no-hitter, and we were like, well, if we put our episode out and we don't talk about the no-hitter, it's going to sound really weird.
Yeah.
So there's actually been 101 episodes recorded. But we're on 98 officially. Anthony's been on 91, and you've been on 64 episodes already.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of episodes.
I've eclipsed a year.
Yes, it's what's craziest to me about it is that like you do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like you just this is my podcast.
Yeah.
Of course it is. You've been on 65% of the episodes of this podcast.
I felt like you guys were doing it for so long before I was on it, but now I've been here for so long.
Right? No,
Time flies,
you
man.
were on it in the first year.
Oh.
Yeah. Nick is checking his phone frequently, and that's totally okay. We're on a sports podcast, and he's keeping track of March Madness, which is one of our big themes today. But before we get to all of that, let's do the Jolly Rancher word of the week. I got mad and told my students I'm not doing it anymore, but they know I'm kidding. So this Jolly Rancher word of the week to close out our unit on heat transfer is the thing that happens to a birthday candle when you burn it. The thing that happens to the wax of a birthday candle when you burn it. It's one of those states of matter changes. And I did that because, well, we're closing out that unit tomorrow. And also because we have your birthday celebration here today.
Yes, sir.
So I asked Nick, it's your birthday meal, whatever you want. I would have made him anything that he asked me for, and he asked me for
A cookie cake.
a homemade cookie cake. So one time I made a cookie cake before.
Yes.
Just for fun at home. And I think I did it in like a 9x9 square pan because I wanted it to look as much like a cookie cake as I could. I don't think at that point I had gotten as good at baking and cooking. I think in the last year's time I've gotten really better at both. And so I kind of didn't realize I could do what I did today. So I put it all in the square container, and it ended up being like a blondie. It was thick. It was about an inch thick.
Yes.
And it didn't give you the same feeling as a cookie cake. You know exactly what I mean. That thin and chewy chocolate chip cookie. It's so good.
Dense but chewy.
Yeah, it's very dense. And so I looked up a few more recipes, and I found a great recipe, and I went with it today. And I have to give all credit to Sabrina. Really, she probably did. I said 90 in my text. She probably did about 75% of the work. She did most of the mixing, except when I had to, finish.
Yeah.
She cracked the egg. She poured in the vanilla. She poured in everything. She scooped and leveled and poured in every ingredient. I was obviously there watching. That's why it looks like a cookie cake. I also chopped up half of the chocolate chips because it said you want bits of chocolate throughout instead of just chips. I know. I thought that was nice because look, now you see them.
True. Yeah.
Spread
that's
out.
That's what a real one looks like.
Yeah. And she decided the color of the frosting. Nicky did not pick pink. Sabrina picked pink. It's a buttercream, but it's not Mom's. It's not as good as Mom's because she makes it better. You can see it's a little bit grainy, but I don't care. You're not in it for the frosting anyway.
No.
It was a lot of fun to make. It was a fun daddy-daughter project today, to be honest.
It looks good. It looks like a real cookie cake. I've never seen a homemade one look so thin.
Yeah, so what we did before we try it is it said to ball up them like cookies and then flatten them, and I didn't do that. I scooped the whole thing out, and Sabrina and I just got mashing.
Yeah.
We just mashed it into an even line. We spread it out across the whole pan. Obviously, some's gone. I saved some for my people. But when it was done, instead of being like, oh, I want it to fill the shape of the pan, is I just cut a little bit. I cut it into a nice rectangle, and I don't know. It looks like a cookie cake.
It does.
And so it also smells like one to me.
I'm not close enough.
So we're going to take a minute. We're going to try it, and then we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We just tried some of my cookie cake that I made for Nick's birthday. Nick, the birthday boy, what do you think?
I love it. You actually pretty much nailed it.
I still think it could have been thinner.
I think the thickness is good. I think the only difference is like the store ones, they're a little more moist. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think the store ones, I have never looked at the list of ingredients, but they've got a lot of extras.
Yeah.
It's not just if they made it the way I made it, it would cost a lot more, and it also wouldn't. This is not going to last 3-4 days.
No.
This get hard after tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I leave it out like that.
Yeah.
And at most 4 days contained.
Yeah.
You could leave a cookie cake out for like a week. There's all preservatives and stuff, but I agree with you. I think it's pretty moist for what it is.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying this.
And I don't know if I could have taken it out a minute earlier, because if you look at the top, just as a baking perspective, it doesn't look like it's underdone.
No. It's not underdone at all. I'm just making comparisons.
No, I love it.
I didn't say it was bad.
No, yeah.
It was phenomenal. It tastes like a cookie cake. And you got the thickness right, and the density, like the texture, you got that right.
Yeah.
It's just not as moist as the. I don't know how they do it. I mean, that's why I like to challenge people to make cookie cakes, because I think it's so interesting how they're made in store.
Yeah, they all taste exactly the same.
Do.
Doesn't matter where you get it from. We got one. I think it was Labor Day weekend. It was the last red, white, and blue holiday, so it was Labor Day weekend, and it was like 2 days after Labor Day, so it was like $4.99, which is cheap. They're like $8-9 bucks, which is probably how much it costs to make this now that eggs are so expensive. Not even joking.
Yeah, no, literally.
And chocolate is so expensive, so this is, and the frosting and everything. But yeah, this was a good one.
It was. I'll give it a solid 8 right there.
And the frosting's not going to color your mouth for 4 days.
Yep.
An 8, you said?
Yeah.
I'll take an 8 cookie cake. Yeah, I would say I mean, I love a good cookie cake, and it was a good cookie cake.
I
was going to say 8 too, but I'll say 8 as well.
Okay.
I like that. 8 is very good. Yeah, it's good. I would eat several more pieces of that right now.
Yeah.
It's good. If you got that at the store, you wouldn't be mad.
No, absolutely not.
And it does have that bit of homemade taste. I don't know. It's got the fresh.
Yeah, homemade is good.
Yeah. You tried a homemade cookie cake? I think it's the first one I've made that I was like, wow, that was actually legit.
Yeah, man. If you shaped it into a circle, it could be right at the store, man.
Right, yeah, you could go, and if I learn how to do frosting and piping correct, too. I mean, I am not claiming to know anything about decorating cakes. I pressed a bunch of sprinkles into the...
Bro, you could have just said Sabrina did it. You didn't have to out yourself.
Oh, no. Because listen, I was thinking of Mom the whole time, and Mom and Dad, how they do, how she does cakes and how he does cookies, and even Cindy, my mother-in-law, and how she does her cookies. And those are just 3 people right there in my immediate family that are such good decorators and finishers of things. I got the bake. Sure, I could bake you that 10 times and it'll come out the same way. But
neither of us got the artistic ability, did we?
No, I said the texture's wrong. It's grainy. I don't care. It tastes fine.
It does.
Yeah, there we go. There was Nicky's cookie cake. I'm really happy you liked it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, I'm glad. I'm glad that's the thing you asked for.
Yeah.
Because it was something I've never really made before.
Yeah, that's why I like to ask for it, because it's like different. Not everybody makes cookie cakes.
I'll tell you who loved it also was Melissa and Sabrina, but especially Melissa. She was taking the frosting earlier, and she was like, "Do you have any extra frosting?" I was like, "I got a little." She was like, "Okay, dip." It's good. It tastes different than a cookie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just want to thank you before we argue about pasta again. We had a lot of votes. Last year, for context, we would have like 4 votes on everything.
Yeah.
On social media. Yeah. We're up to like 25 votes on everything.
That's awesome.
Which I'm thrilled about. Even 10 votes I'm thrilled about. We've got like 20 to 25 total votes on each of the matchups. And that just makes me really happy.
That's awesome.
We have 240 followers now on TikTok, which to some people like that's nothing. But that's 240 people that hit subscribe or hit follow on our top podcast. And we're over 4,300 total likes. Over 3,000 views on TikTok this past week total.
Yeah. And you know what? It costs nothing to subscribe.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
People are watching us. And it makes me really happy. It makes the stuff that we do on here feel like it's worth something.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you. And I tell my students that all the time. I say, I know you're just supporting your teacher, but it really makes me happy to see that. And that's why I do the Jolly Rancher stuff. And that's why I keep doing it.
And we have loyal fans that will always do this for.
Yes. Yep. All right. So listen, let's do the social media winners.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we'll get to ours. I have not bracketed the social media ones yet. We'll figure that out. You'll see them starting Saturday evening, as you did last week. They were out nice and on time, and people voted, and I was really proud of the numbers. Very interesting way of voting. Both Instagram and TikTok were pretty much in agreement except on one.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 all won on social media.
Wow. Wow, that means Wheels is gonzo.
Spaghetti, penne, shells, rigatoni, linguine, cavatappi, fettuccine. Wow. And the one underdog that won was rotini over farfalle by 1 vote. Instagram had more rotini. Farfalle won on TikTok by 1. Mm-hmm. But Instagram had rotini one more by 2. Yes, rotini by 2. And so the 12 seed rotini, the lone upset of the whole bunch.
That's crazy. I guess we seeded correctly.
Yeah. I mean that's what that shows.
Yeah.
One upset. I mean that kind of follows the trend of today's games as we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yes. A few upsets.
But not many.
Not many.
Nothing drastic yet. There could be one later.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be my winner going down later. But anyway, so ours, we randomly seeded these.
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be a really, really intense battle, and I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Did you ask the GPT to receive them?
What?
You said to seed them, like randomly.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Randomly seeded them. We have and Anthony gave me his picks.
Oh, boy.
Boy, is right. We have Wheels versus Penne. Wheels went up against the 1 last week. It's against the 2 this week. What is that? That is tough right there.
That's a shambolic run.
If it comes out against Penne on top, I don't know what to tell you. Then we have number 3, Medium Shells versus number 12, Angel Hair. That's going to be a tough one for Nick. A very tough one indeed. We have number 14, Rotini versus number 6, Linguini. It's a good one. I like both of those. And then finally, number 7, Cavatappi versus number 8, Fettuccine.
Those are tough, man.
Yes. And I think we should start from the bottom this time.
Okay.
The 7-8, the closest matchup. Cavatappi versus Fettuccine. Anthony picked Cavatappi. Cavatappi was Anthony Barberi's pick for the second round. I mistyped that. The round of 32, if you will. It's actually the round of 8. The Elite 8 pasta shapes. Nick, do you want it?
Sure.
All right. Nick, what is your vote?
I think I'm going to have to go with what this pasta does better than almost any other, and that's forkability. Give me Cavatappi. Send her through.
Send it through to the Final Four.
Yes, sir.
Nick, all 3 of us agree on this one. Fettuccine is all right. It's a good one.
It ain't no Cavatops.
It was better than Bucatini, okay? It was better than Bucatini, but the buck stops here with Cavatappi. There was no way I saw this and I said, Cavatappi's not losing to Fettuccine.
No
not
shot.
on this podcast.
Not on this podcast.
So Cavatappi is the first one through to the Final Four.
Before we move on, I'd like to say throughout the week, I've been getting notifications, rumors, calls, this, that. And I actually believe there's an appeal coming in about a prior game, prior match.
What?
Yeah, there was an appeal sent in to the upper leagues of pasta.
Can you tell?
Well, I can't go into too much detail right now, but let's just say ZD is very unhappy with what happened, and there seems to have been some conspiring against ZD. Now, these
In what
reports
way?
aren't confirmed yet. These reports are not confirmed, but it just so happens there are reports of Mr. Walker coercing people into voting for ZD and voting against ZD. And ZD got wind of this, not happy. There is an appeal in the process right now for the social media bracket. Our bracket, it's gone. It's fine, but
Wow.
yeah.
How'd you find that out?
It's just been getting calls here and there. The league knows I'm a supporter of
So
ZD.
they found out that I was telling them not to pick ZD because
That's
you were
correct.
going to pick them?
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's the rumors right now. The reports aren't confirmed yet.
Oh, boy.
There's an appeal in the
You
process.
got me. You might have gotten me there. Very good, Nick. He did his work. See, sometimes, when Anthony's here, you're like, I don't check the script. I'm not paying attention. Now you've got a conspiracy against me. You got an appeal going. Good Lord. By the way, we went to an awesome concert this past
we
weekend
did.
with our dad.
Yes.
And I just wanted to thank him for getting us into Dream Theater.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that in the beginning.
Yeah, that was epic.
That was an epic night. And then the next night, I went to Sebastian Maniscalco with our mom.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, that was, oh my God, I was crying. We were both in tears in our seats.
Oh, man.
But there were these 3 guys, okay? There were these 3 guys. Did Mom tell you about this? There were these 3 guys. 2 sat directly in front of us and 1 sat right next to me. And they were all like coked up or something. Like they were all like repeating what Maniscalco said.
Yeah.
He was like, cookie cake, cookie cake. Walk down the road. Like, very weird. And then after about 5 minutes, one of them was like, all right, we got to go. And they just all took off. And
Just in the middle of the show?
They sat down with like 20 minutes left in his set and left 5 minutes later. I was beside myself, and an usher helped them down to their seats.
Maybe they were famous, and you just didn't even know, man.
The only thing I could think of is they worked for like Ticketmaster, and they were like checking the empty seats out and being like, "Ooh, this didn't sell. Why?" But they were older. They were just old. I don't know. It was very strange, and the guy next to me smelled very strongly of like desert cologne.
Desert.
I don't even know what to say. It was like very strange, woody, sandy cologne. All right. Anyway, sorry. That was a sidebar. That's an ADHDer. 14 versus 6 is up next, and it is another good one. It's Rotini at 14 versus Linguini at 6. Anthony voted for Linguini. Shall I go next?
After you, my friend.
I put a lot of thought into this.
Okay.
This one was a really hard one for me to decide. I told you last week, there's a clip on TikTok of it. It's been said that I like linguine with garlic and oil. I like it with the lemon chicken. I just listened to it a few minutes ago before we came on. And I also love rotini. And I had to hearken back to the days of yore. Okay? Think about like 2002.
Yes.
2001. Rest in peace to all of those brave men and women in 01. But I was at home in first grade,
yes.
and you were about a year old
yes.
or thereabouts. And in my dish was no linguine, Nick. It was a rotini.
It was a rotini.
And nothing evokes the flavors of my youth like with ragu sauce like rotini. Rotini goes through for me in a surprise. A very surprising pick by me, but rotini makes it through. I decided right now.
Wow.
You will decide this one.
Oh boy. Okay. So
I just want to make it clear that you voted against linguine last round.
I'm very aware of what has transpired
Well,
throughout the times.
See appeal.
Yes,
Yeah.
see appeal. So a few months ago,
I know where this is going already.
the answer would have been set in stone.
I know.
It would have been written on the walls. However, a new dish has entered the Walker household, and it is probably like my favorite dish right now.
Mom makes it well.
Gas, garlic chicken, and linguine, baby. Send her through.
Wow. Linguine
Yes, sir.
on to the final four, appropriately so. Hey, the 14 Rotini had a great run. It got one vote in the second round as well. It had to be broken to tie by you. I like that. I'm happy Linguini's through because I do love it. I didn't want to see it go this round, so I'm happy it's still alive.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Rotini's a little overrated. Like it falls apart, you know what I mean?
You know what?
I hate when it falls apart. It's a little slippery.
Let me tell you something.
It has
Rotini,
terrible forkability. Let me just say that.
yeah. Well, what I will say is the worst is Rotelle. Rotelle is bigger Rotini. It's like slightly longer and a little bit bigger. It sucks. And the reason why is because even if you don't cook it really al dente, it's in half. You pour it out into the colander.
Yeah.
And it's in half.
Yeah. It just falls apart.
I can't
right?
get behind that.
Yeah, dude, like the fins. I don't know what they're called. The spirals, whatever they are, they fall off and it gets slippery. Bad forkability. I'm so sorry to Rotini.
That's okay. Rotini made it through. Hey, it was a 14 and it got through, right?
Yeah.
This a little
and
bit
it had
of
a really tough matchup too. I mean,
It had
Linguini's hard
two
to beat.
tough ones, yeah. And linguine is a staple. I mean, come on. I love linguine. That dish Mom makes all marron. It's so good. All right. 312. You like, 312 shouldn't be that close. 3 is medium shells. And 12 is capellini or angel hair.
Those are some heavy hitters.
Angel hair did not make the cut on social media.
Surprising. I thought it would be more of a hit with the younger generation, though. That's crazy.
And it goes up against shells here. Let's see what Anthony picked. He picked shells. In what I think is a bit of a surprise, as he picked angel hair to win last week.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Even though I went against it.
I didn't know he would pick shells over angel hair. He seemed to like angel hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Go ahead, Nick.
Here's the deal. I am like actually genuinely, in all seriousness, 100% 50-50 on this one. And I know where you're going, so I'm going to use that to give an honorary vote to Angel Hair, as I know it will not be seeing the Final Four. But Angel Hair deserves better. It is fantastic. It doesn't deserve to win this, but it's good pasta. Go ahead.
So remember the smell? We talked about the smell last week. It's good. And Nick does know medium shells has my vote all day. I have been outspoken. I said I will I will never not vote for medium shells. So you knew my vote before we even came on. Yes. I've been candid about that and open and honest. Medium shells gets my vote and rightfully moves on to the Final Four as it should.
Yes, 100%. I agree. It was just an honorary vote.
I like that you did that. That was very sweet.
Angel Hair is well deserving of a top spot. It's up there with the big hitters. Underrated.
Yeah, I don't...
Overhated.
In my opinion, I don't think it is, but I know a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's sold. I mean, there's a reason why it's very popular at the store. Whether you call it Capellini or Angel Hair, it's at every store, and it's not just the DiCecco. All right, Anthony? It's not just the $3.99 a box pasta.
The bucatine.
And then
there was two.
We've got a real tough one here, Nick.
I'm aware.
We have number 16 Wheels versus number 2 Penne. Extremely good forkability for both pastas.
Yeah, I mean,
extraordinarily good.
Yes. No cava top, but very good.
Oh, I would argue that they're both better than cavatappi in terms of forkability.
Yeah, but if you go vertical on the cava top,
I know when you get like 3 of them in a row. Oh my God. Cavatappi's going to have a hard matchup no matter who it plays, but we're going to have to see who Anthony picked for here. I'm fine. I made sure I didn't really look. Oh boy, he picked Penne.
Oh boy.
He picked the pen.
Oh boy.
He picked the pen.
The Penne. Me or you, friend? Me or you?
I'm going to go first.
Okay, you go right ahead.
And I know it's because I'm picking Wheels. Wheels is my pick. Yes, I'm giving it to Wheels, and the reason why I'm giving it to Wheels, Nick, is because I love Wheels. Wheels are, again, that whimsical and fun pasta shape. They're just such fun to eat. They're funny. They're cute. You know what kind of pasta I have? Nope, I'm going to wait till after.
Okay.
Let me finish about Wheels. They are deserving to be in the Final Four of pasta. They're the 16. They're trying to make a Cinderella run, and they're tied right now in the last possession of the game.
Against the 2 seed after beating the 1 seed. This is a St. Peter's like run.
Okay, they're tied with 2 seconds left, and Penne has the ball. Nick, decide the toughest one that I've seen.
All right. Let me break it down real quick.
Break it down.
Like I said last week, once the wheels get rolling, they never stop. But
oh boy,
Penne is an all-timer. You got the Penne Levade.
You don't even like that.
Don't matter. I know. I've done my research though. You got the Penne. It's got similarities to ZT. We know how big of a ZT fan I am. But let me tell you something. Penne is fraudulent. Penne is not ZT. Give me Wheels.
Oh, we got Wheels making the Cinderella run.
Penne is mid. Penne is wannabe ZT. It is not ZT. It wishes it was ZT. It could never be ZT. Get Penne out of here. Trash pasta. Terrible forkability. The slant, the angle, like the trapezoid shape of it.
Causes problems.
It does cause problems. It is not as easy to stick the fork through as it is with ZT. The ridges make it an awkward texture. It should be smooth, like pasta is smooth.
It does cause problems. That slant, especially if you get 2 that are the opposite way stuck together.
No.
You can't pick them up.
No.
You can't pick them up.
It causes issues. I think it's on the coaching. It's the game plan.
It's the game. Right. No, it's the players.
Yeah.
The talent is just not there. And with Wheels, once they get rolling, they never stop. Okay? And Wheels is on to the Final Four, send him through, like Nick said. Oh, when we reseed this, it's going to be an impossible thing to pick.
We might have another appeal coming through this.
I think some people would argue that Ziti is wannabe Penne.
I would disagree, my friend. I would disagree. Because they just lost to Wheels. They just lost to a 16 seed.
Right.
So who's the real fraud
Spaghetti
here?
and Penne just lost to Wheels. That's the Melissa Wrighton pick.
Who's the real fraud here?
Right.
Penne or Zete? The 2 seed losing to the 16.
Right, and Ziti might not have been kicked out fairly.
Yeah, there's an appeal on board.
There might have been some, what's that called? Collusion.
Yes, it was collusion.
So we have Wheels at 16 making it through, Medium Shells at 3 making it through, Linguini at 6, and Cavatappi at 7. Whether we have a 7-6, 3-16, that would be dastardly. Or whether it goes 16-6, 3-7, whatever the combination is, it gets very hard from here.
It does.
Next week is going to be terribly hard to pick.
I don't want to eliminate any of these.
Honestly, they're 4 of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
I know a few of my favorites got voted out last week. But man, oh man, it's going to be hard to pick between any of these.
Yeah.
In any combination. Well done. Round 2,
Yes,
done
sir.
right. Well done, Anthony, and everything. Once again, the social media bracket is different. So what's cool about that is that you on social media will have your own bracket. You're not going to go on our bracket now.
Yes.
I'm going to reseed yours separately, and you can go from there. So it will just be a completely different situation.
And they can hate our choices, but our choices don't dictate theirs.
Not at all. And again, we're in a world where you have rigatoni still alive and spaghetti still alive. And after today, you still have rotini in the fray. You have fettuccine in the fold and penne.
Yeah.
So, the only ones that we still have in the game that they still have in the game are Cavatappi, Linguini, and Shells.
Yeah.
3 of 8. Already a very different draft. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. I'm very excited to find that out. Thanks for listening to Starch Madness.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're going to talk about some sports. We'll get to in no particular order first, and then we'll talk our sports, and then we're out. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
It's a bad day to be a San Jose Shark, Nick. As of yesterday, they were eliminated from playoff contention with 14 games left in the season. That is your favorite word, shambolic.
Shambolic indeed.
And listen, we know that they're still in a rebuild, okay? But let's just take a look at this. They 18-41-9. 45 points. 45 points, Nick. They're 30 points out of a playoff spot.
I mean, how do you even still go out on the ice and want to play and want to try? I would feel like I would just be in such a bad mindset if we're just losing 41 games. Only
50.
winning 18.
They've lost 50 games.
Yeah.
They're 18-50. It is tough to go out there. I mean, but you see it in baseball too, like the A's and other bad teams, the Red Sox lately. We've all seen bad teams come and go. And they lose 120 games, 110 games, 100 games. That's
not fun.
Go out there and lose 100 games out of 162? You're doing a lot of losing.
Yeah.
You're going out there and you're losing a lot. It's pretty bad. But again, 18 wins right now with 14 games left. That probably puts them, 23 wins on the season total? Maybe? That's 5 wins in their next 14, which is pretty much the clip they're on. Yikes. Yeah, their win percentage is 33.1. So that's actually a little generous.
Yeah.
They're on track to win almost 4.5 games, technically.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. So it's a bad day to be a San Jose Shark. Or, depending on what you do while the Islanders are winning, Oh, I didn't want to know that. By the time we're done here, it'll probably be over and I'll be pooping my pants. The good of the week is Sabrina. Sabrina learned how to play the recorder.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is so cool. If I get a video before this goes up Saturday, I'll put it in there.
She got the musical touch.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying to blow and make it go.
Yeah.
She figured out how to go.
Yeah.
And no, it's really cute. It was, and my face and Melissa's face when she did it, we were like, and she was like, she got all excited that she finally worked it.
Yeah.
She's a rock star, and I'm using this forum to gloat about it. Go, little rock star.
Good job, Sabrina.
Good job, Sabri. You're the good of the week. And the La Liga
Yes.
rejected Barcelona and Osasuna's bid to have their game rescheduled for a second time. Excuse me. They're playing on March 27th, despite both teams basically saying they want more rest time for their players. So the reason why they're saying this, right, is because both players have injuries. Or both teams, I should say, have injuries. So Rapinha, who's on Brazil's team for the World Cup qualifier on the 25th, and then Ronald Araujo, who's playing for Uruguay versus Bolivia on the same day, will be traveling back and then playing for Barcelona. They're saying, well, we don't want to play without them. And they're going to be tired. Yeah. And those are two of our best players, obviously. Osasuna also has voiced concerns because their next match is against Athletic Bilbao 2 days later, which was planned for the 28th. It's been adjusted to the 30th, but they're saying they want additional recovery time before they take the field again. Now, I know soccer is not the same as American football, where you play once a week. You can play 2 or even 3 games in a week, and soccer takes a lot out of you. I mean, it's just a full sprint the entire 90 minutes. If you think you can play soccer, you can't.
No breaks.
If you think you can, you can't. Unless you already do.
No timeouts, no stoppages, just one halftime. That's it.
It's 100 miles an hour the whole game.
Yep.
Even the goalkeepers. No. So it's the end this week because I'm kind of torn between what I feel about this issue. On one hand, I see what the teams are saying, but on the other hand, I don't really care. This is your team, and they're representing their country, and this is what you have to do. You have to deal with it.
I completely stand by the fact that if both teams agree, there's no reason they shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Really?
If both teams agree to it, it's not like, Barcelona's just doing it to get an advantage.
Well,
both teams want it.
Let me tell you this. So it was originally scheduled for March 8th.
Okay.
Forgive me for not knowing this. I should know it, but the owner or the something of one of the teams passed. Mm-hmm. I think it was like the old owner for Barcelona. Mm-hmm. If you know it in the comments, say it. Everybody knows soccer that I talk to, that I work with. Please just say it for real. And they moved it to the 27th to allow grieving. So I'm pretty sure this is why La Liga is saying no this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's a legit reason, and this is also a legit reason.
I just don't think they want to move it twice, because then it might get to the point where it's like, all right, then you got to think about tickets. You got to think about attendance. You got to think about who's going. I mean, they'll fill the stadium no matter what. Who are we kidding? Yeah. It's Barcelona and Osasuna. They're both huge teams in La Liga. So, I don't know. It's the ant for me because I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of in between. And that's in no particular order. Thanks for listening to that. Let's talk a little bit more about soccer. When Ant's not here, we talk soccer. We got to get him more into it because, boy, did something fun happen today. I don't know if you happen to see this. There's a picture I'm going to put up when I talk about it. Portugal lost to Denmark today in the Nations. And I know that a guy I used to work at CSA with, his name's Steve, and he's a soccer coach in the area. A lot of kids know him and have had him as their coach. Great guy. I got home from work today, and I was watching March Madness with the kids today a little bit this afternoon, so I didn't watch the soccer game. I just saw the Facebook post, utterly disappointing, and then the Portugal flag, and I was like, oh no, they lost. And they lost because of a guy who has really struggled with Manchester United. And his name is Rasmus Højlund of Denmark. He scored the only goal against Portugal in their 1-0 win today, Thursday, March 20th. The best part for me, he did the when he scored right in the face of Cristiano Ronaldo, which the picture is right here. And he looked on in disdain with his hands on his hips as he's just crossing his arms and getting in the middle of the jump looking skyward.
That's awesome.
And so Højlund did an interview after the game, Nick, and he said that to play a game against his idol,
yes,
and to score the only goal, was like, he said, I couldn't have dreamed that any better. He goes, I've dreamed of that happening. I mean, I guess the only thing you could have better is to be on his team, right?
Yeah.
And learn from him. But to do it against him is, I think, even cooler.
I agree.
I mean, again, Ronaldo, one of, if not the best of all time. People go back and forth on several.
Yeah.
Some say Pele, some say Messi. I don't care. Against a legend of soccer. Somebody that everybody knows in the world, and he scored against him. What I did notice watching the highlights was that Portugal was not very good in terms of their intelligence. They really looked like, despite many people saying they were going to win, they looked really outmatched.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. I also saw that they just didn't seem to have good chemistry. And I think a big thing is Ronaldo didn't show up. I mean, he's old, I know. He's not who he was, but they need him. I don't care how old the guy is, the guy stays in the best shape of his life. Yeah.
And
you see what LeBron's doing.
They're relying on him. It's not like they're like, all right, he's still on the team because he's a living legend and he'll come off the bench for 10 minutes. He's playing the whole game, and they need him to do what he does, and he didn't do it.
No.
Portugal still is in first place in the nations, but that's a huge loss and a very disappointing showing from your national team.
Yeah.
You know, you want to talk about World Cup and stuff like that. That's a very disappointing international showing. And so, yeah, Portugal losing today. I also wanted to do the Leicester City goal update tracker.
Yes.
And each week, until they score a goal, and that's not even win a game. Each week till they score a goal, I'm going to tell you how long it's been. It's still been January 23rd.
Nice.
It's now been 2 months. I remember a few weeks ago I said it was a month.
Yes.
It's now, by the time this comes out, it'll be a day shy of 2 months since their last Premier League goal.
That's, yeah.
Bye.
Back down you go.
Cycled right through. It's time. I think it's time to be an Aston Villa fan again.
Aston Villa is exciting.
I liked them, and then they went down.
Yep. When's whatchamacallit? Champions League coming back?
That's not for a little bit.
Oh, still
A couple weeks.
April, right?
Beginning of April. Yeah. They'll be back.
I'm excited.
Villa's in that.
Yeah.
Who are they playing? Inter?
No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Isn't
Let's look it
Bayern
up.
playing Inter?
Yes.
They're playing Bayern. No. The PSG team. PSG.
Playing PSG. That's right.
Don't sleep on Aston.
April 9th and then April 15th. Yeah, Aston Villa. Wow. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All the Canadians tied the Islanders. That is a really... Well, now we'll talk about some hockey before we get to March Madness. We're going to talk about one team each that isn't in the playoffs and why they're still in the bubble as this race really tightens up. And just to speak to the Islanders and Canadians right now, if you want to know why that game matters so much, the league is watching that game right now, not just because the Islanders are involved in it, and that's why I'm in it. No, I'm trying not to watch it because I'm really nervous. The Islanders are currently 3 points out of the playoffs. They're playing the Canadiens, who are the second wild card and 3 points above the Islanders. Same amount of games played. So if both teams get a point, it would suck for the Islanders. If the Canadiens win this in regulation, it's devastating to everybody else in the playoff picture. And if the Islanders win in regulation, everybody's going to be happy. Because that means the Rangers, who lost today, the Rangers suck, man.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 in a row.
And they have 3 games in hand.
The Islanders have 3 games in hand, until they finish this game. Yeah. They have 2, regardless. And the Blue Jackets lost in overtime tonight. And so, between second place in the wild card and 7th place in the East wild card, they're separated by 4 points. That's a 2-game swing.
Yeah. And the Islanders and the Canadiens are the only ones that don't win streaks.
I know
So,
that.
and one of those ends tonight. So every team on that list will be on a losing streak except one.
I know.
So what team stays hot
We'll
when
see
it matters?
in 5 more minutes. Islanders and Canadiens tied at 3 right now. So, I guess do you have your team ready?
I do for the most part.
I'll go first.
Okay,
and then you can get to yours. So the team that I'm looking at right now is the Detroit Red Wings. Okay, it was 3-1 Islanders.
It was, yes. Speaking of frauds,
they're not frauds. They suck. Frauds. They were never was. Okay, let's not misconstrue. Anyway, the Detroit Red Wings are one of those teams in a free fall right now. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games, and the reason why I want to talk about them so much is because right now they're still only 3 points out of the playoffs, which shows you that they're right there. And it's exactly what happened last season with this poor team.
It is.
They're poor fans, really. The team should be ashamed for dropping the ball like this because, let's say, instead of going 2-8, if they went 6-4, they would be in a divisional fight right now. Okay? They'd be in a divisional fight with the Lightning.
Yep.
Who have really, really been good lately.
Yeah.
And instead, they're outside. They're behind 3-4 teams. And they're sinking like a stone. They don't have any games in hand on anybody except the Rangers, who are not in a playoff spot, so that doesn't matter. Really tough situation for the Red Wings right now. And what I think it is goaltending. Their last bunch of games have not been good. If you want to talk about their win-loss record, that's obviously sucked, right? 2-8 in their last 10. But if you start looking at how many goals they're giving up, you're like, uh-oh. Well, just this last bit of time, you saw Peter Mrazek get his 3-0 win versus Vegas. But aside from that, they gave up 5 to Washington, 4 to Washington, 4 to Washington, 4 to Utah, 5 in the Stadium Series, 2 to Carolina, 2 to Ottawa. Then they won 7-3 against Buffalo. But they're giving up a lot of goals, and they're playing really inconsistently. They're playing some good teams coming up, and they play Vegas, Utah, the Avalanche, the Senators, and the Bruins for the rest of March. That's 5 games, and 3 of them are going to be tough. Ottawa's going to be tough. They're good. They're a playoff team. Vegas is. The Avalanche. Nelson scored 2 goals today. We'll get to that later. Utah and Boston you got to beat, but the Red Wings don't look good right now.
Yeah.
Nick?
This team is their bubble is about to be bursted. It is the Utah Hockey Club. I'm really pulling for them this season. We're already looking at this season as a success. The goal was to be in a fight for the playoffs at the end of the season. That was the goal. We succeeded that goal, but it would be really nice to get in. The biggest problem for Utah, though, right now is their goaltender issues. They don't really have a 1A. They have maybe 2 1Bs.
Yes, they do. You're right.
And who was their main 1B is Connor Ingram, who is now out indefinitely and has been going through mental health issues all season, which is
Related to
nobody's
his
fault.
mom, right?
Yep, nobody's fault. Just unfortunate. And their backup, isn't picking up the pace. It happens. He's just a backup.
Carl Vejmelka.
Yep. And so that's become a real big problem for them. Another big problem is they just got wiped by the Oilers last night. So they are now 4 points out of a playoff spot.
6. The Blues won.
Oh, did they? 6 points out now with all the teams above them being on winning streaks, playing good right now. Utah basically has to go mistakeless for the rest of the season.
They do. They do have 2 games in hand on the Blues, who hold the last wild card spot, but the Blues are on a 4-game heater right now.
Yes.
Canucks just lost in overtime. The Flames have won 2 in a row. Like you said, the teams in front of them are playing good hockey. 6 points out at this juncture of the season is really tough to overcome. 4 is like there's like 14, 13, 12 games left.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for anybody outside looking in to get in if they don't really win 9 of those 12.
At least, yeah.
At least. You might have to win 10.
Yeah, for Utah,
Yeah. Utah's probably got to win 10.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like you said, they have an above NHL 500 record.
Yep.
They've won 30 games this year. They should be on track to win like 36.
And I think this is a little above where we predicted them at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think we thought they were going to be a little lower.
You said Utah playoffs.
Well, yeah, I believe that
after
was
they beat the Islanders in game 1.
I said a fringe playoff, right? I said a fringe playoff.
And there they are.
Yeah,
they are fringe.
Going forward next year, you got to figure out how to. I don't know what their attendance is like, what the environment's like, but they are struggling at home. They are worse at home than away this season. I don't, they just relocated. I get it.
13-13-7 at home and 17-14-4 away. Yeah, 13 wins at home is not a lot.
Yeah.
And 20 losses.
Yeah, I think they just, I guess, gotta find their home in a sense.
Yeah, again, like you said, this is a tough year for them.
Yeah.
Moving, same guys on the Coyotes from last year.
Yeah, this is the same trash team. Let's not forget.
Right. And they're actually relevant. They're better than the Ducks. They're better than the terrible Kraken, the terrible Predators, the Blackhawks, and the terrible Sharks. So, not the worst, right?
Yeah, no.
And if you want to talk about points, they actually have 1 more point than the Islanders, who we're talking about knocking on the door.
Yeah.
3 points out. So they've actually had a better season than them.
Yeah.
Which was not hard to do. But still, it's not bad.
Yes.
They can hang their hat on that. And I know they want to make a playoff push. And anytime you're that close and you can sniff it, right, you want to make it.
Yeah.
I like that. Good analysis by you, Nick.
Thank you.
All right. We had a big upset finally today in college basketball. And it involved Clemson. The Clemson Tigers, formerly of football fame. Okay. Well, they said, we're going to be a 5 this year in the March Madness tournament. We're going to be a 5 seed. No. You got him up against McNeese State out of Louisiana. Okay. The Cowboys upsetting Clemson in a monumental win for McNeese State. 69-67. They built an 18-point lead, did the Cowboys of McNeese. And they held on. I mean, you knew they were going to have to hold on for dear life there.
Yes.
Like a cowboy would.
Yes.
Okay? But my goodness, what fun.
Yeah, that was a really good game. When you have a guy on your bench dropping 21 points, you would hope you would win. And that was McNeese's first win in NCAA tournament history.
That was Murray, right? Dropping those 21? Brandon Murray?
Yep. First win in their program history.
Right,
which
congrats.
Is awesome.
That's major.
It's awesome.
I didn't see that anywhere. I'm glad you have that note.
Yeah, and also Drake with an upset just happened. That's the game I was watching on my phone because I have them going to the Sweet 16. They beat 6 seed Mizzou by 10. First win in decades for Drake. There's a lot of hype around Drake this year. So I had him in my Sweet 16. They just won, beat the 6 seed Mizzou.
Wow.
So yeah, another upset alert. Bing, bing.
Yale was beating A&M, and then they ended up losing by 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, the upsets are what everybody talks about. But then there's one team went out today and really took care of their stuff, and it was Creighton. That was the game that I watched with my students this afternoon today.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a team that could make a run? A team that you saw play live just a few days ago?
Yep.
And lose to St. John's? Creighton really took it to Louisville.
Yeah, I did watch them, and they're a scary team when they're hot, but when they lose the momentum, it just all collapses. That's why I actually didn't take them in the first round, because they looked really bad, but St. John's is just so good. They were down a lot at half, and second half, Creighton just didn't do anything with the ball. They just lost the momentum, and it just collapsed.
Creighton played this game much like they played the Big East semifinal against UConn on
Lights
Friday.
Out.
It was lights out from tip-off.
Yeah. Creighton
scored first. Creighton scored last.
Yeah.
A wire-to-wire win for them, pretty much. They were up by 20 before the half. I think it was 15 at half. They ended up winning by 14 points.
46% from three.
I mean,
that's
hard to
games,
win.
Yeah.
Hard to beat a team that's almost 50% shooting three-pointers, right, Nick?
Yeah. Especially in the three-point era. Everyone's shooting threes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points.
Creighton looked good. I'm really excited to see what St. John's does tonight. They're losing right now?
They are. 15-14. Early.
That's the 15-2, though.
Yeah,
you don't want to see that because I have St. John's winning the whole thing.
I told you, bro. They're fraudulent. Now, they are literally, it's known that they're a second-half team. They do this in every game. First half, fumble.
Rick Pitino's got the formula.
He does.
Nick, so I just said who I have winning. Who do you have winning the whole thing?
I'm very basic. I have Duke.
Why is that basic? They might
because
win
everyone's picking Duke. But how do you stop that team, man?
Cooper Flag.
They have 4 players averaging over 10 points. Oh, and Cooper Flag. How do you stop that
team? They always have someone like that on their team, don't they?
They do.
I mean, for like the last 10 years, they've always had that annoying.
Every 4 years,
players.
they become relevant with like the number 1 pick in the draft. Because they are Duke at the end of the day.
Who was the one?
Zion.
Before that.
Tatum.
The white kid.
Oh. Grayson Allen. Yeah, the GOAT.
Grayson Allen.
GOAT.
The most annoying.
Most hated college basketball player of all time.
An NBA guy.
Yeah, he's awesome in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody hates him in the NBA.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
He was just him in college.
Yeah.
And that's why people hated him.
Yeah.
That's why people have a problem with Paige.
To be fair, though, like that's why he struggled to get playing time because he's a dirty player.
Yeah.
But once he matured, got to the NBA, I mean, now he's awesome. He's a great role player.
He sure is. No, anyway, yeah. A lot of fun today on the first day of NCAA. And by the time this comes out, the first round will be over. So what? We talked some first round today. We had a lot of fun. Let's do Grammy's Grinders of the Week, Nick. Shall we? All right. My Grammy's Grinder of the Week is Brock Nelson.
Very well.
Brock Nelson scored his first 2 goals with the Avalanche in tonight's game. And I'm really proud of him. Islanders are in overtime, by the way, so they both got a humongous point. That's major. Anyway, Brock Nelson scored 2 goals. Ottawa lost 5-1 to the Avalanche, and Brock Nelson was the headline, scoring twice with his new team. He only had 2 assists in 6 games going into tonight, and the broadcasters on the game, as I was watching the highlight of his goals, were like, you could smell it coming. He's been getting good looks. I'm so proud of him. We miss you. Congrats. Don't forget us. Come back after the season. Nick.
My Grammys Grinder of the Week is Draymond Green. He gets a lot of hate, rightfully so. He is an idiot at a lot of times. But nobody can take away the fact that he is one of the best defensive players of all time. And the other day, without Steph Curry, he carried the Warriors to a win, not through offense, but through literally holding Giannis to 20 points, 5 of 16 shooting, -7 differential, 3 turnovers. I mean, he had this guy in a cell at the age of 35.
Giannis was not having fun.
No.
He was like mad the whole game.
Oh, yeah. Draymond had him locked up as a 35-year-old.
Only 20 points.
Against a Curryless Warriors team.
That is incredible. Wow, great Grammys grinder, Nick.
Yeah, and he also had a 23-point game 2 games ago, too. He's been really good this year. He's like having a resurgence, kind of growing with his attitude. He said he wanted to focus on winning, and he's been trying to change that. So, yeah, shout out to him. Good
for Draymond Green. Yes. I like him getting some love on Grammys grinders. So 2 West Coast people on the grinder of the week this week. All right, thanks for watching and listening to Sports and Spaghetti. Do this.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you next video.
Thank you as always, Sabrina. Sabrina made this awesome cookie cake with me. It was mostly her. I was just there for moral support. Follow us on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod and on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod. And again, thanks for listening and watching. Don't forget the Jolly Rancher Word of the Week and all of that good stuff. If you're still watching, please answer the polls on TikTok. Please answer the polls on Instagram. And Nick, take us away.
All right, I am Nick. That is Chris. Ant is still missing. He will come back. This has been Sports and Spaghetti. Take care of your loved ones. Make your family make you a cookie cake for your birthday. And as always, stay full.